Hello, welcome to the Talkin Kop. It is 4:15, and I'm your host, Matt. I'm here with the weather. We are going to have hazy skies everywhere, and that is because of the copious amounts of fume from rival fans as them fucking Reds have gone and done it again. Kev, on our first post-match of the season, you said, I can't take another 37 of these. You've had 4 in a row. How you liking it so far, Kev?
That today was fucking hard work, wasn't it? Genuinely, that was hard watching. You take the 3 points and you move on, but fuck me, that was a minute away from having a monster shit show. And there wouldn't have been any art. Burnley must be fuming because they did everything fucking right. They did everything right, and a brain fart has screwed them. We made that a lot harder than what it needed to be. And look, we got out of it, take the 3 points and move on. But the games are going to start coming thick and fast now. And hopefully that will help build a rhythm. And we'll start to see better performances than what we saw today, especially in the final third.
Yeah, there's obvious room for improvement, especially in the attacking part of the field, Ashley. But at the end of the day, the cliches all come out. Doesn't matter how you get the 3 points, as long as you get the 3 points. And sitting on 12 points out of a possible 12, not playing good is, I think, a very good sign for this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good sign. I think what we're seeing is very similar patterns of, not being able to kind of get dominance over the game early enough, not being able to assert ourselves in the way that we wanted to. I mean, all of these games that we're talking about, these 4 games, it took us until after the 83rd minute in all of those games to get a winner. So for me, it's cutting it a little bit too close. Today was cutting it way too close. But, I think you're still seeing the team gel. I think you saw today, like the passing, everyone was trying things and the players just weren't on the same page. And then you have that Ekitike conundrum where, he goes off and then you're sort of lacking that focal point. And we will get to a point where that will be Isak and our problems will be solved and Ekitike will be the one that's coming on at 70 minutes. But right now, you're just seeing the teething problems. And if you can get results while you're having those teething problems, like, cool. Not great for my heart rate, but cool.
Yeah. That's all we can ask for. And I mean, Chris, it couldn't have been a later version of you get what you deserve coming through, because if I remember correctly, it was the 5-0 against Man United where Hannibal should have seen a straight red card and got away with it. But Darren wasn't getting away with that today, was he?
No. Look at LSCA. All these problems, still top of the league. It's fucking shite, isn't it? No, jokes aside, I would say to you guys, there are elements of the performance we'll go through. I think Liverpool just lost a lot of patience because it's unusual, even with low block, to have a game where you got 79, 85% possession. It's really unusual because it doesn't show many of the gaps then. So that's a bit frustrating. So that's something Liverpool have to get used to. But today's performance rings to me of me watching Man United in the 90s and early 2000s, where you just sit there and go, oh, fuck off again. Late one. Why? And to me, the penalty was one thing on it. That was pressure. And that was pressure finally taking its toll on someone. And we've seen it. That's what Ferguson was very good at. To be fair to him, that's what Pep's teams are very good at doing, is just keep pressurising, and eventually it'll go late. But what we've seen in the first 4 games is for Arne Slot is he's very good at substitutions. And every sub he brought on today made Liverpool better, made Liverpool more threatening. And to be fair, he's brought on subs in the last 3 or 4 games where we've gone, not sure about that one, and they've all come off. So credit, got to give the manager credit. He keeps finding a way, and he also did the brave sub. This game's got shades of Ipswich at home last year, which was, Kirk, you're not playing very well. Off you come. And players don't like that, but you know what? He's young, but I feel like it was a kick up the arse he needed, because I felt he was going to be a walking red card the way he was behaving that first half. He needed a bit of a shake, I think.
Yeah, and it's that ruthless streak that, like you said, you mentioned Ipswich there, where Jarell Kwanzaa didn't survive the halftime break, and Milos Kerkez didn't even make the halftime break in this match. But it was precisely what we needed, because Andy Robertson provided a nice change of tempo, and I felt that the introduction of Connor Bradley did the same thing as well too. Just to let everybody know in the YouTube chat, for some reason, the YouTube comments are not coming through on the service that we use to stream. So we're not going to be able to get comments up on the screen. So it's a real bummer for Ashley with all of her quote work that's going in there, because those are all just going to kind of get lost. So I'm going to try to hit them as you post them, Ashley. Virgil van Dijk saying Mohamed Salah is a world-class player, and we know he can deliver in these moments. We obviously try to break teams down, a well-deserved win, but if I am Burnley, it is never nice to concede a penalty. At the end of the day, it was a penalty, and Mo scored it perfectly. Kev, the lineup, probably a surprise to a majority of people, given that Connor Bradley got good minutes on international duty with Northern Ireland, but you can't really argue against Dominic Szoboszlai keeping his spot as the right back, can you?
Yeah, I can, because we saw the difference when he was moved into midfield. Look, he's not a right back. He'll never be a right back, and stop playing him a fucking right back when you don't have to, because you put him into midfield and he's more effective and offers us a lot more than anyone else. If you don't want to drop him, then drop one of the other three in midfield and put Szoboszlai in his right position. Stop trying to put square pegs in round holes. I've never understood it. And thankfully, after 38 minutes, he fucking fixed it, because there was no need to do it in the first place. Bradley's on the bench, Frimpong's on the bench. Sorted out between the two of them. You bought in a right back to replace Trent. You had a right back already there. Don't fucking put a midfielder at right back when you don't have to. You might have to at some point in the season, but today wasn't the day for it. It was a stupid decision. And the other one I look at. Look, I thought McAllister coming back from Ecuador was probably the one player that I didn't expect to start. I would have happily seen Bradley playing at right back and Szoboszlai playing as your second midfielder, knowing that you're going to be dominating the ball. It was just a surprising one, but not, shocking. But yeah, when I saw the lineup, I looked at it and I was like, all right, where's Bradley? Okay, Frimpong. Where's Frimpong? No, fuck. Szoboszlai. Oh, fuck off. I just don't get it. I understand when you have to, but not when you don't. It's just
Kev just reading out his WhatsApp stores.
I know. I'm so upset that the comments can't be put on screen, because Real Talk just said Mick McCarthy. I can, and I had just seen that clip of Mick McCarthy. Kev, you're doing your best, Mick McCarthy, there with being able to see that. Ashley, Kev mentioned that McAllister was the other one. We know that he oftentimes struggles in the first game back after international duty, given the travel and the elevation and all those things going through with it. But I actually thought he wasn't bad for that 45 minutes.
I mean, he wasn't bad until his ankle got turned and he got, borderline assaulted.
It's a flesh wound.
For me, that was an orange card. We'll get to it. We'll walk through the game, and not that there's that much to walk through. It'll take us all of 10 minutes, but yeah, I thought he was okay. I just think I hope that that's not a serious injury. It looked like Mo posted a selfie with him in the background, and he looked like he was okay in the training room. So hopefully it's just one of those, throw some ice on it, give it a few days rest. I don't know if we'll see him for the mid-game or the midweek game, but yeah, I mean, he wasn't horrible. Thankfully, he wasn't playing at elevation in like Bolivia. So I think that usually is what contributes to his downfall.
Yeah. It's apparently there's ads popping up in the YouTube chat.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're working on it.
I've got the YouTube chat open, and I don't see. Like, you mean ads on the live stream, not in the chat?
No, it's in. They're popping up in the chat, and it's only for certain members. We don't know why. We're working on it. Like, I can't see it in my YouTube because I've got it pulled up as well. But for some reason, some individuals are getting ads, so we're working on it. But we apologize.
Yeah,
it's new. YouTube has thrown that out.
You really need whatever it is they're advertising to you. So just buy. Chris, I felt that the pattern of this game was set out within the first 4 minutes. It's 4 minutes in, and everybody, with the exception of Allison and Virgil van Dijk, is about 32 yards from the Burnley goal. And it was like, well, settle in. Like, Scott, the bus parker, this is we all kind of knew this was the pattern that the game was going to go in. It was just going to be a matter of if we could break them down.
I mean, that's the reason I'm pleased with the win. Look, I understand Burnley play the way they play. They have to play that way. They're not going to play open, expansive football like Burnley did when they came up first time, because you just get murdered. And, I get that. I don't particularly like watching that type of football because I find it's just a shit game. But you know what? They were within a minute of it being perfect. And to be fair to them, they were very good at limiting Liverpool to very few big chances. I think Liverpool needed the early goal to settle them down a little bit. Otherwise, you have that in the back of your head. You've got a little bit of that. I'm sure Slot did. Fucking hell, it's going to be Forest again, isn't it? It's going to be a late breakaway goal because that's what Forest did to us. Forest did the same tactic on us. So, positive to look for today is the same tactic was done at Anfield this time last year, but this time we found a way of getting the win. I still think Liverpool missed one sitter in the first half, and Ekitike rinsed Walker. And I'm amazed someone like a Mo Salah or someone isn't gambling back post going, I'm going to back post just in case there's a tap in here. There might be. There was no gambling, which is very un-Liverpool-like. We're normally a bit more assuming the best's going to happen. Sometimes a bit too much, which is where we get caught in transition. I don't know, we're just a little bit hesitant sometimes.
Yeah. It was very the first half was very poor in an attacking sense. But I mean, luckily, Kev, we are incredibly wasteful from set pieces because my God, I think it was our second corner was a Gakpo in swinger, which is weird. I think it's the first time we've seen Gakpo take corners. He put one good delivery into the 6-yard area, and Konate headed over from about 3 or 4 yards out, and that was it. Like, I think we had 14 or 15 corners, and they were fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's probably the most frustrating thing about watching us. And we're one of the highest goal-scoring sides in the league last season from set pieces, but you'd never know it, considering the amount of set pieces that we have throughout a game. We had a load today. And the Konate one, I mean, look, he just got underneath. He got too much on the header. That's probably, and it's too close. All he needed that to do was, as the one on Sky said at halftime, was literally let it bounce off your head. Just let it bounce off your head. It'll drop in. It was unfortunate, but the rest of them, you expect better delivery. And even the ones that they got into good areas, in the main, Burnley defended them really well. You got to say that they got ahead on most things, and I think we just have to be better at attacking the space. But you can only attack the space if you know where the ball is going to be delivered to. You watch Arsenal, and the accuracy on the delivery that goes into the box, you can tell that they work on it meticulously because they attack that space where the ball is supposed to be going. If, like you said, Gakpo is the first time that you've noticed him taking corners, how the fuck is anyone supposed to know where that delivery is going? So where do you make your runs to? It's just dumb luck. You're better off taking him short in that if that's going to happen. And we did a few, short routines, but it was frustrating. Let's just leave it at that. It was very frustrating. The last one at the end with Robertson, and he hit the first man. I just literally I had the remote control in my hand, and I was like, nah, just fuck it.
Jonathan in the chat said he nearly threw the TV out the window after that.
Yeah, I'm sat there, I'm like, it's just too much effort to throw the fucking remote.
Yeah. To be honest, when he underhit that one, even my daughter was at his out. She went, "Oh God, calm down, Dad, calm down." She just knew. She's just like, even she's. I just looked at me and I said, "You could take a corner better than that." And she's 12, and even my daughter's going, "I get it in the air." I went, well, that would be a start.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair to Robbo, that's one of the few poor things he did actually. Because give him his credit. I actually thought he gave us more balance on left hand side, attacking and defensively. He didn't dive, which we'll come to, and he had the only shot on target in the first half for us. So I actually thought Andy Robbo played really well. It was actually the perfect Andy Robbo sort of game.
Yeah. It's Ashley, you provide the best stats here. We've won our opening 4 Premier League matches in a season for the 3rd time. We also did it in 2018-19, where we finished 2nd, but won the Champions League, and the following year in 1920, when we absolutely waltzed to a title. So as somebody said earlier, my 114-point prediction for our season is still holding strong. I went to those guys on the corner, Ashley, so that you don't have an aneurysm live on YouTube. Let's instead talk about, I think, the big positive from the first half for Liverpool, and that is when somebody passes the ball to Ryan Gravenberch and he feels an opponent on his back because, my God, is he a silky bastard.
Oh, he is. I love how some of our players are getting like these signature moves. Like we've got Gakpo that's got that, run across the box and then shoot. I feel like this is Gravenberch's signature move, and if he keeps progressing, like it may just become like one of those moves that they name after someone. Like I feel like it's so quintessentially him, and it's great because he's like Jones in that he's really press resistant, and we need that in that midfield, and it's why we miss him so much. I think he was one of those standouts in that first half. I mean, there were a lot of players that were trying and failing, and he was trying and succeeding and kind of keeping things really simple. And I really, really appreciated that because we needed leadership in that regard because, I mean, like it or not, even though he's really young, he is one of the senior players, and you've got a lot of other players that are integrating into the squad. We need the guys that like know the system to stand up and do the simple things well and kind of pull everyone along with them. And I think that's where he was really shining there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, the two talking.
Oh, can we talk about the flick, Matt? Can we talk about the Gakpo flick? Have you not got that down? Where someone's on his back and he does the Gakpo roll, and as he comes with the Gakpo roll, he then flicks it over the head and then lays it off.
The ghost of me has arrived. I don't know what's going on down there.
There's an extra Ashley now, so
Right.
Yeah,
Just
nice. But she's gone again.
even later than regular Ashley, which is impressive. I'm presuming that's Gav playing around in the background trying to figure out why we don't have our YouTube chats coming up because it's the first time we've encountered this problem. So yeah, I apologize for that. We'll let him work on that and try to figure it out. Chris, I mean, I don't want to come to you because you kind of told me your opinion on it, but the 15th minute, Ugachukwu gets a yellow card for a tackle on McAllister. My commentators, which were at halftime, were Peter Schmeichel, Michael Owen, and Jolien Lescott, were unanimous that was an error and should have been a red card, and you disagree.
Our commentators were all like, it's a yellow, a little bit higher, he's off with a red. I think that's right, because it connects with his ankle, but it's the follow through after the ball. I think if it's any higher up on his leg, I think then it's a red card. The fact he rolls his ankle, it's partly irrelevant because you can roll your ankle doing anything. If it's a little bit higher, it's a red card. To be honest, the yellow Bradley gets, he connects higher up the leg than what that lad did. Difference was Bradley's, there was no real force behind it.
And Bradley's foot was on the ground. Bradley's foot was like this, and his heel was on the ground, whereas Ugochukwu's foot was like this, and his leg was fully off the ground.
But he gets the ball, his foot's got to go somewhere, and unfortunately he catches just above his ankle. Any higher, I think he'd get a straight red. So it's one of them. It's a shit one if it's on your player, but I've seen Van Dijk do that tackle, and it's been a yellow card. It's a yellow card. There's not always a conspiracy about referees and their shit decisions. I mean, he got sent off anyway. I mean, McAllister tried to get him sent off in the first half with the yellow card that it's very rarely given these days. With they take the quick free kick and kick it into him, but Oliver didn't seem to know that was a rule because it wasn't like he kicked it; he stuck his leg out to stop him. So I think it's a yellow. I've seen them given as reds, but to me, it's a yellow. It's a high yellow. But I think Ash said it's like an amber. So
it's one of those ones they've been letting go. Like there's been a few this season that, because when I've been looking at Ref Watch, like I look to see some of these controversial calls, and a lot of the ones that are coming up that are popping up are very similar to this, where the referee's giving a yellow, and especially the team that is affected by the foul whose player is injured, they're all saying like that should be a red card. I think in seasons past it may have been a red card. It seems like this season they're really waiting for that force aggression, like it almost, if you look back to what's his face, Gordon, having to like go all the way across the pitch in order to have enough force to actually get a red card. It's almost like they're waiting for those kinds of incidents.
But his force starts back of the knee and goes down. And the West Ham lad who got sent off, his is middle of the shin. It's not ball height. It's over the ball. That's why I don't think he gets sent off, because the tackle's not over the ball. It's not like the Curtis Jones one where it skimmed the top of the ball and then got over. He's hit the ball full on and his force has took him through. So I can see why it's not been given as a red. I know some in the chat disagree, but I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm sort of thinking that would be a yellow. Roles reversed, I think if that was given against us as a red card, we'd all be screaming blue murder, conspiracies, and the refs hate us. So for balance, I think it's a yellow.
Oh, you're so fair and balanced. Kev, again, you were in Chris's camp on this one. I believe your words were never a red card.
No, it's not, because at the end of the day, he tackled the ball and his follow through wasn't with force. It just looks a lot worse than what it actually was.
I mean, it had some force, Kev.
It has some force, but it wasn't excessive, and it wasn't targeted.
It wasn't going to endanger the player.
No,
I think they class it as careless, don't they? Oh.
Yeah, the ball was there to be won, and he won it. I genuinely don't see the problem with it at all. It's like it's contact sport. Players are going to get hurt. You know, it's not intentional, and there's no malice in it. It'd be different if he went over the ball and went through his shin. Then you're talking a different thing altogether. But it was on the ground. You know, it was ball height. It was under ball height. You know, his foot was planted, and he rolled. And luckily enough, his body went with it. So it wasn't like he tried to stay standing. His body went with it. You see the still, and the ankle was like bad. I think the reason he came off probably at halftime is more the fact that he stopped. So you went into the dressing room, you sat down, you stopped moving, and then suddenly it starts getting tighter, and you start feeling it, and it gets sore. You know, while he's on the pitch and he's moving around, you'll run through it, and it'll be fine. It'll be uncomfortable, but it'll be fine. He's used to it. McAllister gets kicked around like no other player. You know, he's up there with Salah for collecting fouls, but unfortunately, it's part and parcel of the game that unless you want to eliminate tackles, that's going to happen, and he got a yellow for it. And I even looked at him and was like, fucking hell, what do you want him to do? Do you want him not to tackle the ball?
I mean, I would prefer because we had the ball.
But you know, that's the way it goes. If you start getting players sent off for that, actually I think it gets worse because players become indecisive and then they don't use their instincts to make a tackle. They think about it and then they catch players later. And I think that's where injuries happen. It's like, look, we grew up playing hurling, and we were always told when we were playing hurling, get tight in on someone and pull with them and don't be afraid of it. And the worst injuries you'll ever get is with someone who's half afraid, who's half in, half out, and they'll usually get a stick clattered across their jaw because they don't push in tight with someone. It's the same principle. It's like the player did nothing wrong. If you want to give him a yellow card for the contact, okay, I get it because, you know, he did follow through. But where the hell is he supposed to? It's like when players get booked when they land on somebody or they stand on someone's leg when they land. It's like his leg's got to fucking go somewhere. You know, it's not intentional.
I mean, you do have to be in control.
You have to be careful, but
in my defense, because I posed the question as the host, when I saw it and saw the replays, I was like, okay, it's a bit harsh. I don't think I wasn't standing there screaming at my television that that's a red card. But then at halftime, when I see a panel of Manchester, and Manchester going, that is a red card, I'm going, okay, well, maybe I'm trying to be too unbiased about it.
Well, I had the same thing. I had a panel of Manchester, Everton, Manchester, and they all went, no. None of them went. I wasn't like, well, that's a shot.
In fairness, one of them was Roy Keane, who's still to this day thinks he didn't foul Alfie Haaland. So.
Yeah, but Michael Richards thinks everyone who's not a City player is a foul. Do you know what I mean? So Michael Richards would always scream for a foul, even though he's one of the worst ones for it.
Yeah.
It's also their job to create controversy.
Exactly. And look, I don't care what their opinion is. I don't care what pundit's opinion is. It's my opinion. In my opinion, I don't want to see that going out of the game.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see players.
If you use ball height as the cutoff for it, I think is good. And I think the only person that falls foul of that is Amaro Nallo last year. I think he was the only one that was above ball height with his tackle, and that deserves a straight red card. Ashley, there's dives and then there's dives. Jesus, Milos. It was, not only was it a dive, not only was it a bad dive, but he dove instead of crossing the ball.
It was such like a little wimpy, pathetic, like, I don't know. It was like when you have like a little child having a temper tantrum and they just sort of like drop to the ground because they're upset with you. Like, that's what it reminded me of. And I don't know. I mean, in my head, I'm thinking like, he's young. It's just something he's got to get out of his system. Like, I'm actually glad that Slot pulled him right away and was like, look, like, we're not putting up with your bullshit. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, sit on the bench where you deserve to be, because like, I don't know. I don't want that in my team. I just don't think that that's necessary. I think it's the second time he's done it this season. I believe there was he didn't get called for a yellow card, but I believe there was another game earlier, like maybe the first game of the season, where he went to ground really early in the box. And I don't know if that's just something that has been trained into him throughout the years that we're going to have to untrain. But yeah, that and there were a couple of other dodgy moments with him. Like, it was weird because Arsenal felt like such a big step forward in his development. This felt like a big step back, right to where, a little bit Moreno-ville, which is not my favorite thing.
No. He fucked his own team over, though, to be honest. He absolutely fucked his own team over, because then he couldn't make a tackle. Every time you look at a tackle, thinking, this could be a second yellow. And he got away. Sorry, not got away. He did a late tackle, and you sort of went, well, it's just a free kick. But he's all going, you're in the ref's eye line now. And I think that's why Slot took him off. He's like, also, it's Michael Oliver.
Oh, it's absolutely.
Who has the main character syndrome anyway. No,
I'll tell you one thing. So if he wasn't booked earlier, that one on the halfway line when he was last man,
he was over.
I don't know how he didn't get sent off.
Yeah, I think that was a yellow card because it was a foul. He was the last man. I think definitely if he wasn't booked earlier on, the ref books him for that. And Slot did absolutely the right thing. Look, there were patches of his game going forward that were fine. He put in some he put in one brilliant cross, and it was just into an area, and it was just begging someone to attack it. But it wasn't decisive in the position. When Robertson came on, and the first thing he did was get between the fullback and the right back and get a shot off. That's what today demanded. It needed a fullback. If you're going to go on the outside, make the run and go outside. If you're going to go on the inside, make the run, but make the run beyond the line and come back, because the amount of times that you saw it in the first half where the forwards were coming up to the line and then coming short to try to play a 1-2 to spin in behind. Nobody was making runs in behind. So Burnley were able to relax and just control the line and not worry about people going in behind them. We made it a lot easier for him. But yeah, look, Slot did the right thing taking him off. I don't think it was a slap in the chops to take him off. It was...
I wouldn't...
Look.
No, I mean, Slot, I just threw the quotes in there if you guys want Slot's opinion on that.
Yeah.
I don't know, Matt, if you want to read those two.
Oh, sure. I love reading
one right
quotes.
after the other.
Yep, Slot on his decision to replace Milos Kirkes. It was because he got a yellow card. I think their fans here thought a chance for them to win the game is if we ended up with a second yellow. With Milos, I can never be 100% he doesn't make the next foul. I thought the only way we could lose today is if we went down to 10 men. I honestly think Burnley were so shit we would have had to have gone down to 9 men for us to lose that game, because they were terrible.
If I'm honest though, I wouldn't start in the next two games. Because you're going against Atletico Madrid, who were the masters of drawing fouls and yellow cards. I mean, they used to get Sadio Mane wound up all the time. And do you know what, if I'm the Blues, I'm telling Grealish, I'm telling Dye, just wind him up, run at him. He's going to kick you. He's going to give you a foul. He's going to give you the gift. So I'd take the gift away. I would. And I also, because he's only 21, I think for his own development, a couple of games out might do him so good. It might focus the mind a bit of like, I'm not a Bournemouth anymore.
It's not his shirt yet.
Probably get away with the dodgy game. That's what I mean. A Bournemouth, he could get away with the dodgy game because he's the main man.
He's done nothing to earn the shirt yet.
So
I could see Robbo starting and then
actually,
Kirk is coming on after. Like, because I don't think Robertson can do a full 3 games in a week, unfortunately. But maybe you do reverse that and really do seniority there and be like, okay, you got to earn your shirt back.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an outside shout here, Kev. I'll throw this across to you. Yeah. Maybe we play Szoboszlai at left back?
Fuck off.
Yeah, just to wind Kev. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Just to get Kev's blood pressure going. 5 minutes before halftime, Ekatike has some nice moves in the box. He kind of toe pokes the ball. It was maybe half across, half a shot, and it's curling towards the back post, but nobody's there gambling on it. But it was kind of just a bit of a meh.
It was a good run. It was a good run.
Yeah,
because it wasn't
the only thing that he really did throughout the game.
It wasn't a slow poke that he was going past, and it was the one step over and 2 strides, and he was past him. You know, that shows signs of what he could do in that position. I like that. The fact he got the toe poke across the box, Salah has to be coming in on the far post for that. He has to be gambling on that. You know, but he did everything right in that. I mean, the only thing you could, and I don't think you can even level at him. The service into him today was atrocious. You know, at best, in a striker like him against this, you got to factor in as well. This is the first time this season that we've played against a true low block.
Yeah,
you know, this is the first time that we've come up against that brick wall, and we said at the start of the season, this side is still building and it's still working on its patterns of play and what have you. This is a brand new experience that they're going to come up against later on through the season. They'll work this out. I mean, this was the first time that it's happened. It won't be the last, but they'll be better for today. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're going to have probably, I don't know, 20 of these games at least throughout the season, maybe even more. You know, might even be up to 26 or something like that, where teams are just, especially.
I mean, we already saw it with Arsenal.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we've got Arsenal still, haven't we?
Okay, I know some of us have to get out of here at the top of the hour, so let's kind of breeze through this because, again, I didn't think a lot happened in the second half. But, Chris, I'll come to you on this. I think you might have mentioned it either before the show or even after we started. Arne Slot knows how to make substitutions. And
yeah, he does.
Unlike in previous games where we've made substitutions and it felt like we've lost some of the threat we had up front, we didn't have any threat up front to begin with. So today the substitutions just worked.
Yeah, I mean, second half, I just felt we were more dominant, but with purpose. It just felt like, you know, we moved Szoboszlai to the middle, so we was able to get the odd shot off from distance just to give us a bit more mobility there. I thought Bradley was excellent up and down the wing. I think he did the underlap, unlucky with his header, you know, running into the number 9 position, you know, which is something, you know, that's not something Trent would do. Trent would stay wide looking for the whipped cross. Bradley is more of he's happy to go in there for the shot, which is nice to see. And then the other subs that came on, you know, I thought Rio was excellent. You know, he just ran at players, just something you need, really. You know, something that defenders don't like, which is pace. I mean, let's be honest, as me and Kev know, he glided past Kyle Walker, and we haven't had many players who can glide past Kyle Walker, you know, even at his age. And Frimpong just gave them a direct option. I actually felt the last 4 or 5 minutes it freed Mo up a little bit, who, to be honest, I know he's got the winning goal, didn't have a great game. Don't think he was involved very much in the game, but I felt once Frimpong was brought in, they managed to find a bit more space. And Chiesa nearly had the perfect substitute appearance. Literally his first touch, he should score. Honestly, it's the best cross of the game from Robbo, and I don't know how he doesn't hit the target. It's the perfect position. That's the sort of cross that Ekatike has probably waited the whole fucking game for. I bet he sat on the bench and go, for fuck's sake, I've waited all game for that ball. And now I'm sat here.
It's the difference between a striker and a converted striker. A striker comes onto that and meets the ball. Like Diaz used to do that glancing header to the
I think if it fell to, I think Mo or Gakpo probably would have scored that.
No,
because they're better.
Salah's not scoring that.
Well, Salah's heading ability is better than most think.
Not from there, it isn't.
I think he did better than Chiesa. But yeah. But listen, apart from that, though, actually, I thought Chiesa was quite effective again, which is all you need, really. And it's not sort of team you'd expect Chiesa to do very well against. Oh dear, Man City have scored. That wasn't bad.
Yeah, well, shocker to know that Bayindir playing goal didn't do too great on that, but a lucky break for City. Yeah, I mean, Kev, the substitutions I felt were brave. I mean, especially the ones that come when we're getting really down to that crunch time. The 84th minute where you get Rio coming on for Verts, you get Frimpong coming on for Konate. You shift to kind of a 3 at the back where the only recognized center half is Virgil van Dijk. Now, we weren't doing it with Kostas Tsimikas chasing a goal like we were exactly 1 year ago today, which was the Forest game, which was the last time we didn't score in the Premier League, where we threw Simicast on and went to 3 at the back. But it feels to me
Ashley's face says it all.
You're having that aneurysm whether you like it or not, apparently, Ashley. But Kev, it feels to me like Arne
They're really working it up.
Arne Slot trusts this team to pull it out of the fire, and he's willing to make those substitutions because he knew by that point that they weren't scoring.
I think their red card helped. Their red card helped that decision, but I think it needed to happen anyway. They had a total of 4 efforts in the game, none of them on target, only 1 in the second half. They were holding on for dear life as it was. You could have argued that change needed to happen earlier with Gravenberch going to an auxiliary centre back. I mean, it's kind of like Szoboszlai playing right back. He's only playing right back when he's defending. When he's not defending, he's getting forward. It would have been the same with it was the same with Gravenberch playing as an auxiliary centre back. He wasn't. He was just like there for when they had goal kicks, and then when we got the ball back into midfield you go. But yeah, it was definitely one of those games that you'll risk winning it, or you'll risk losing it to win it.
Yeah. And
it was the right call, and the fact that he pushed Frimpong on, and Frimpong had a really good chance. It was the difference as well that you have Frimpong, naturally right footer, who can put in a cross, but who can go on the outside regularly. Gave Burnley fullbacks a whole different problem that they never had to deal with all game, and eventually they were able to unlock it. He had that really good shot. Dubravka made a good save, but it was straight at Dubravka. It needed to go across goal. But again, there was only ever one side looking to try to win that game. That's why when people will turn around at the end of it, it's hard done on Burnley. Well, it would be hard done on Burnley if Burnley were trying to win it. They weren't. They were trying. Burnley were playing for a draw, and they tried to get a point, and they almost got it. So they get credit for defending really well for 95 minutes, but at no time in that game did I ever think that we were going to lose this. Yeah. None. I just looked at that and say, in all of this game, in that from the time he made the changes, from the 84th minute right through to the 96th, we'll get one chance. It's just, can you finish that one chance? And it turned out that it came from a penalty. But it was...
Before we move on to the goal, Kev, your thoughts on the second yellow card? I think it was a bit harsh on Ugachukwu.
No, I think it was a yellow in the same way as a yellow for Bradley. And it was a yellow with McAllister. It's just a foul. And, it's a foul that is almost always going to be given as a booking. It's no more than that. It's definitely no more than a yellow card, but it is a yellow card. And in fairness, I don't think he argued too much, and I don't think the players around him argued too much either. I think apart from the "I can't believe you're doing this to us" with 6 minutes to go kind of argument, I don't think there was any fury
there, Kev, to transition, because you talk about not arguing too much. Nobody argues that NordVPN is the #1 provider of virtual private networks that are out there available. So you'll find the promo code in the description for the show. If you're looking for a VPN, perhaps to watch some 3 o'clock games with us next weekend when we do the final 20 like we did yesterday. They were shit games, but you can still watch them if you're using NordVPN. Enough of that. Ashley, the guiltiest man in Turf Moor was Hannibal Mejbri. My God, did we need that? And he could not have been more kill me now. I am so sorry. Like I don't want to feel sorry for him because he's a former Manc, but I mean, he just looked so dejected.
I mean, normally I feel like they teach defenders to not look guilty. Like, he could not have looked more guilty if he tried. Like, it was like an acting class version of look guilty, like with his hands up over his face.
He was caught climbing out of his daughter's bedroom window by the father, who was waiting at the bottom of the stairs with a shotgun saying, "Come on, boy, you're getting it." Basically.
It's funny because like the only memory I have of him is that...
Is that from experience,
what?
Kev?
the only memory I have of Hannibal is that one time that he played for Manchester United, and I forget what player it is. Maybe someone in the chat can tell me. Like, he nearly took out one of our players, like right on the far side of Anfield.
It was Salah.
Was it Salah?
I think it was Salah, yeah.
Like, he absolutely like took him down, scythed him down. And so when he did that, it just felt like this kind of little karmic circle had finished. And I was like, I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for you whatsoever. The only thing I was worried at that point was who was going to take the penalty. And if it was Salah, was he going to miss it again? Because he's missed his last 2 penalties. And I was at that point just like a ball of nerves because the game had sucked. So I could barely watch. I did watch, thankfully. And thankfully my TV is like mounted up on the wall because if something bad had happened, Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I was quite relaxed because he'd scored a penalty in the international duty. So kind of thought he'd got the penalty out of his system already.
Okay.
So
well, I do not watch.
I was a bit more.
Games
yeah, I was a bit more calm.
International
It said Salah scored, then I saw the goal. It was a penalty. I thought, oh, good. No, it flashed up. It literally flashed up on Twitter saying Salah scores, and someone flashed the goal as the penalty. I went, oh, good. He's got that out of his system. He's got the miss out of his system. Great. So
I mean, that's got to be like relaxed. The worst game. I know that Salah has games where he just like pulls it out, but that's got to be one of the worst performances I've seen Salah have. And then also still have that magical Salah thing where he saves the game out of nowhere. Like, it was totally a get out of jail free card. But yeah, I'm worried about him. I'm just not necessarily like his fitness or his age.
I think what he's suffering.
Go ahead. Sorry, I don't know. I keep. I think our streams are kind of unsynced. I'm not worried about his age or anything like that. I'm just worried about the way that we're incorporating him right now. It just doesn't feel like the system is suiting him yet. It just feels like he's been really, really quiet. And I mean, his passing has been off. I can't give an excuse for that. Like today, the passing was atrocious.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, can any of you kind of put your finger on what's going on with him beyond just like
I think
the newness?
Genuinely, straight up, I honestly think his biggest problem at the minute is Dominic Szoboszlai playing at right back. Inside the first minute, you saw it. So I put a message inside the first minute into our group. Kirk is holding the width. Szoboszlai's tucked in as an auxiliary midfielder. Salah's isolated. And he was isolated all game. And in fairness, he scored 2 in 11 against Burnley, 1 in 10 going into today. They always tended to play 4 centre-backs against us and put a centre-back out on him and give him a really rough time and give him absolutely no space through the middle whatsoever. That was Burnley's make-up against Salah all the time. I think his biggest problem at the minute, it just feels like there was parts of that game where he was with Wirtz at one stage, linking up really well, and he was with Szoboszlai when he was in midfield, and they linked up really well with Bradley. And some of the interplay was really good up until the final pass in the box. But I don't think it's something that's unfixable. I just think it's one of those rotation things that will evolve over time. And look, they're pretty good at working this out. And he's been here long enough now where he does go through these patches in the season where we're just unused to seeing performance levels drop this early in a season. You normally see it in around January time that he does have a little bit of a blip, but yeah, I've no doubt he'll be fine. But it also helps that we're going to have options that he doesn't have to be the be all and end all on the right all the time. Hopefully we can manage that situation a bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, why don't you give us your man of the match, honorable mention, and needs to do better, please?
Man of the match, not Szoboszlai, Gravenberch. I thought he was the most consistent one across the whole 90 minutes. I think he kept us solid, and I just think he kept things ticking over. Honourable mention, I've got 2 really, because I can't really separate. So one is Bradley, who I thought was excellent when he came on, and because he's had a lot of stick for the last few weeks, I thought Konate was actually very composed as set off. I think he won all his headers. He was sensible with the ball. and didn't do anything daft. He just played well there, and then could do better. Kirk has, because he was dog shit.
Well, there you go. It's as easy as that. Ashley, who are your 3 nominees, please?
I honestly, it's difficult to choose. This feels like choosing, from just a lot of people that had maybe 6 out of 10 performances for me. I think I'm going to give it to Bradley. He changed the game for me, similar in the way that Curtis Jones changed the game the other week. The impetus that he brought to that game, I loved the way that he was kind of getting into unexpected positions. There was a point where him and Robertson were the furthest forward in the box, and I was like, I don't know what's happening, but at least we're, making an attempt to score here. So for me, I'm going to give it to Bradley. I think Virgil did a really good job kind of marshaling that really funky, like, no center back beside him approach at the end. So I guess I'll give him the honorable mention. I think that he has just stood up really well. It's great to see another clean sheet. I would love to kind of tack a few more of those on board. Could do better. I think we've already talked about Kirk as enough. I'm going to say Florian Wirtz. Not because I think that he's poor and I want to add to this narrative of
Ashley thinks Wirtz is a flop. Ashley thinks Wirtz is a flop.
That's not what it said. But because this is the kind of game that I would expect him to kind of shine in. Like, this is why we bought him. We bought him for teams that are going to park the bus where you have this low block and we need to unpick that lock. And for me, it just felt a little bit labored. It felt like he was taking a few too many touches. Like, there were moments where you could see him trying to be creative, but I just don't think he has the time that he's used to. I think he's going to have to speed up his thinking and his movement just a little bit, and that'll come with time. But yeah, I mean, the obvious answers that I've already talked about is Salah and Kirk. So without kind of shitting on either of them again, I'm going to choose Wirtz.
All right, good enough. Kev, who are yours?
My man of the match is Konate. I thought he was brilliant. All their goal kicks from Dubravka, and he had a lot. Everything went down his side. Won the overwhelming majority of them. But not only did he win them, he won them in a way that put us back on the front foot. It was very rare that they won the second balls because of the accuracy of the headers that he was winning. And also with Szoboszlai going off as when he was playing right back, going into midfield, he had to cover both positions, and that was where they were targeting their attacks. Any type of counter they were getting, whoever was playing on their left wing, as soon as the ball was turned over, he was gone. He was on his bike and waiting for that one long ball over the top, and Ibu was alive to it all game long. I thought defensively he was rock solid. Honourable mention, Gravenberch. Gravenberch was brilliant. I love that move he does where he just like protects the ball, lets the ball run past him, and then just glides out the other side. And he had a really good effort in the first half as well. In the second half, a shot from long range. Should have done that a bit more. I think it was probably my biggest frustration of the whole game was the area in front of the penalty box that we should have been taking shots from the odd time, just to drop, to force them to come out and make a block, so that next time you can play a 1-2 and get in and around the space that they vacate. It's just having that threat there. But he was very, very good. Could do better. Yeah, Salah. They have to work out a way of getting him involved a lot more. And he's got to improve himself. His passing today, Ashley was right. His passing today is really poor. The service into Ekatike, you could argue for both wings, was very average. But you expect more. You hold more to a higher standard because of what he's achieved and what he's done, and what he's got in the locker. Yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad at this football,
Yeah.
So I think he's the one who could do better. I mean, look, the obvious one is Kirk is, but at the end of the day, it is what it is with that one.
Yeah. I think it's. I like your mentioning of Konate. He would have been a good honorable mention, but I think the man of the match has to be Gravenberch. You just saw why he's made that number 38/6 position his own. That swerve, like with the exception of when the Roadrunner paints a tunnel on the side of a wall, you don't see somebody going the wrong way as much as when he does that shoulder drop. It's incredible. My honorable mention, I'm going to give a little shout out to Rio and Gamoa because that right side of their defense was fucking terrified of that child. Like he gets the ball and he's got those lightning feet. He played that ball across the box in the 92nd minute to Frimpong, and it was like
that was a great pass.
Ball. Yeah, it was an unbelievable ball, and I think Frimpong, in retrospect, probably should have just lashed at that the first time because he took a touch and it was no better the second time. And in terms of could do better, I mean, it has to be. Madge said it in the chat, which we've lost again on our restream. So, oh no, there it is. It's back again. Weird. Everything's being very strange today on the production side of things. So I apologize that this is a little off show, but I believe it was Madge that said Allison was slightly poor today because we didn't get to see him enough in that absolutely stunning black kit because he had nothing to do.
You know what I liked? He was the only player that didn't wear a jacket, like walking out at the beginning of the game. So you just got to see it in all of its glory. And it really was the only time you got to see him at all. And it just had me thinking, like, what if they had made that jacket in black? Like, I want that jacket in black. Can you please, Madge, get onto your writing skills to that guy and let him know.
Well, maybe like, can they do it in like a crop top jacket? Is that a thing?
No.
That's just a crop top.
We're not doing crop tops. Like, honestly, most of the people that are buying that shit is in England. Like, isn't it cold there? Like, don't people get cold? Like,
it's not cold in England.
Yeah, we all want to be Newcastle.
Yeah,
they don't. Yes, I mean, they're the ones to market the crop tops too.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna go see if I can find some of the quotes because Ashley's done her regular fantastic work. Here's Arne Slot saying compliments to Burnley, how they defended it was difficult to find a gap. Slot said. We were getting closer and closer, and in the final stages, we got what we were hoping for. If you play 95 minutes in their 18-yard box, there's a chance the ball will eventually fall the right way, he said. Fortunately, it was inside the box. Mo has been important for us as long as he's been at Liverpool. A good moment for him to score an important goal. We will get better and better, but in the meantime, we have 12 points, he said. Difficult games, but all of them are in the Premier League. Mo Salah then said, we tried our best to get the ball between the lines. It's tough to win, but I'm glad we managed it. And Virgil saying a well-deserved win, but it could have been a draw. Some of the stats, if I remember them from earlier in the chat, Burnley didn't have a touch in our box in the second half, so that shows the threat that they posed. Burnley had fewer than 100 passes. We had over 600. So it was only ever going to end one of two ways, a Liverpool win to 0 or a 0-all draw. And at the end of the day, you keep pushing, and somebody's head goes, and they make a slight mistake. And that's what Hannibal gets. I don't think he would have had that absolute brain fart if he hadn't gotten the cornrows. If he'd have left the afro, he probably would have been fine, but it was too much pressure on his brain, and he went a little bit squirrely at the end there. So that's what you get.
He had a complete brain fart. And the thing is, when you look at him, as soon as the ball hits him, he knows.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and he just knows he doesn't move. It's just literally, please God, make the earth open up and just swallow me whole. I cannot believe what happened to me. And it is literally just a complete brain fart. But at the end of the day, you have to put the cross in. And that's where it came from. Put the ball in the box. And, you know,
it's that old cliche.
It's awful.
Tickets and raffles, you know?
And that's what it is. That's what it is in the end.
It's worth remembering, too, that like Burnley has made that into a fortress. They haven't lost there in over a full season. They didn't lose there at all last year.
24 games going into today unbeaten. 24 games at home unbeaten. And in the championship, I get it. But the one thing you'll say about that is they're used to winning. They have a winning mentality at home. That is a powerful thing. And it goes to show how hard it was to get that result. We'll see over the fullness of time how good those 3 points really are, you know, with their home record as it evolves over the next month or two. Matt, you were saying it yesterday about our 3 points at Bournemouth is looking like a very, very good 3 points at the minute. You know,
and Newcastle.
exactly. Very good 3 points at the minute. And so it down the line, this could prove to be a very good 3 points, depending on how other teams go to Turf Moor and get points or don't.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was saying as like right in the dull part of the second half where it was really kind of dragging on. There was a point at like about 68 minutes that it felt like we were in injury time. And it was like, holy shit, these guys have to survive another 25 minutes of us with this. But if Burnley can continue that home form and be that resilient and dogged in defense, they're going to take some points off of some of the teams that we're rivaling for a title this year. You know, you think of a team like Arsenal that struggles. Now, maybe not if Burnley gives up 72 corners like they did today. Arsenal will definitely score from a corner. But other than that, like I'm okay with getting the 3 points, but they have a solid bedrock of a defense at home because we don't have to play them at home again, and they're going to get relegated. So we won't have to play them at home again next year either. So it's all good. It's all good. Real talk, I would love to throw your comment up, but again, it's fucking stopped working on us. But he says, imagine being the other fan bases watching Liverpool keep producing late winners. Ashley, you would put it up there that I think our earliest winner was Soboslai's free kick at like 85 minutes or 83 minutes or something like that. Like,
and they've all,
Imagine not being us, Ashley. Like, imagine having to do this for another team. Just sounds dreadful.
I mean, if they didn't hate us already, they hate us now. I'm pretty sure they hated us already. It's fine. But yeah, it's one of those, like, there have been seasons in the past that we've watched rivals do this, and it is soul destroying. And like you're four games into the season and you're already breaking spirits. Like, and that's it's not to be discounted. Like, we're not playing well. Like, don't get me wrong. We didn't play well today at all, but we are breaking spirits, and there's something to be said for that. So, you know, I would rather, I'm like Kev, I'd rather just see like a couple earlier goals. But, you know, if it keeps demoralizing the opponents, like, I guess it's a good thing in the long run.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry, Kev.
I want nothing more.
Heart attack football. I want heart attack football.
Yeah, in fairness, I'm actually suspected that I could get one. So I don't really want to.
We need to buy Kev a heart rate monitor for Christmas.
Yeah, baby aspirin sales in Cork are through the roof right now.
I'd love to see a comfortable. Do you know what? I'm looking forward to Wednesday night now with the Atletico Madrid. I think the better opposition that we play, the better we're gonna play, and you'll see the likes of Wirtz and Salah and Ekitike thriving if they find a game with more space. I mean, Atletico won the other night. I think it was last night. They won 2-0. It's their first win of the season. But you just know Diego Simeone is going to come to try to do something. And it's not going to be an easy game, but I think it's a game that we need that kind of level of opposition to get the blood running. And that was my biggest fear going into today. Oh, it's Burnley. Yeah, it's fine. We'll get 3 points. Don't worry about it. You know that, and you don't like to. And I don't think it was. I don't think that attitude was there. But it was a fear for me going in that kind of entitlement, you can put it, is always in the underbelly of some sides. And Slot made a point of it there when he was talking at the start of the game before the game started that these ain't easy. You know, they analyze them to the nth degree. They don't give up many clear-cut chances at home, and today showed it again.
Yeah. This was not the game for anybody to predict a 13-0 in.
No,
I don't think they've let in more than one, like in the course of last season either at home. So they don't get many.
Last season was insane.
I mean, James Trafford was undoubtedly the best goalkeeper in English football last season, with the performances that he was given at Burnley. I mean, 13 clean sheets on the bounce. You know, and I don't care what level of football you're in. If you're putting in performance where you're getting 13 clean sheets on the bounce, you're very solid. You know, and Scott Parker looks like he's learned an awful lot in his short managerial career.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, as a few people in the chat have pointed out, the watch-along hate watches are essential viewing because we've only gone and done it again. Football miracles on a weekly basis. Imagine being us. Ashley, anything else before we get out of here?
I just wanted to say that Mo Salah has now scored 188 Premier League goals, which moves him ahead of Andy Cole into the outright 4th top goal scorer. So just another record, even though Mo Salah was not his normal self today. But I just wanted to make sure we got that in there as well, because that's incredible.
Yeah, he was not in regular self today because my notes says Mo has been fucking brutal, and then a minute later, penalty. So that describes
you were trying everything to get that to work, didn't you? So if I write it down, it'll happen.
It says last gasp stuff now. Mo has been fucking brutal. Then Rio to Frimpong, great ball, and then penalty handball. We win, and them Reds have done it again. You have anything else before we?
Nah, mate, I'm all good. Just got to enjoy the rest of his Sunday now.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got the Sunday night show coming up. I've been drafted in to fill in for one of the lads that are off doing something more interesting, possibly rewatching that 90 minutes against Burnley, but. Yes, thanks everybody for joining us. Hit the thumbs up button if you've been here watching us. Again, I apologize we weren't able to get as much interaction with your guys' comments on the screen as we normally do, because you guys know in the chat community, you make the Talkin Kop what it is, and that is the best community of Liverpool fans going on YouTube. So thank you everybody for joining us. We'll see you guys all at 10 o'clock for the Sunday night show, but it is finished at Turf Moor. Burnley 0, obviously. Liverpool 1, 12 from 12. Them Reds have done it again. See you after the next game, everybody.